particular meta. So both Crimzo and Violet had best keep their wits about them right now, because Happy looks like he's going to come out on the Hanzo here. San Francisco with the McCree and the Mei.
I was going to say, another good map that you can play Hanzo, right? Control the high ground. Also just a ton of damage up close. As Dante puts an interesting make wall to just kind of protect them as they come on in. So probably have to wait for that cooldown to come up before you want to kick off a fight.
Nero needs to nail this. He absolutely needs to separate Jungkook from the rest of his team here. But look at this. I mean, the Outlaws are trying to bait this Mei wall out. They get Violet. That first pick they were looking for. Oh no! This is terrible for San Francisco. In desperation, wall attempted to be thrown up there by Nero, but he's shut down. Happy found Striker. Happy finds FDGOD. Happy finds San Francisco asleep at the wheel.
I mean, how many times on the Hanzo, or even the McCree, he found like the first kickoff in a fight? And a lot of the time he's found Violet. You find you're able to get one, you get 2 kills at the beginning of the fight. You look at that, it's like tremendous. Happy starting these fights off, getting like the first 2 picks. I know, getting a support, then taking out another player in the process, and living on through it. Point A taken basically instantly, and he's got a Dragon Strike. This could be really bad for San Francisco.
Again, this back line of the Shock has to try and find a way to stay safe, or at least to be effective while being a little bit more passive, because frankly, their positioning from prior has been hurting them. Super now extremely aware he could be looking at an amplification matrix. Any number of key ultimates could be leveraged at him right now. Here's the first of them. The Dragon cuts off the left-hand side. That actually cuts off a couple of San Francisco players for a time, but the Outlaws aren't able to do anything with it. Juby finds FDGOD though, and it could be all falling apart now. The San Francisco shot busts. It's careening off a bridge. Violet down. No healing. Super tries to charge and compensate with a lack of defensive stats with some pure aggression, but that's just not going to get the job done. Houston Outlaws, too good for that stuff right now. A new era, perhaps, for this Texas team, and San Francisco Shock laid low.
As Juby picks off FDGOD at the beginning, you had another pick, I believe it was Happy again, onto Violet, as the Outlaws are trying to set like a record time here potentially.
Okay.
47 in the bank here. No D whatsoever from San Francisco. They get rolled over by Houston.
That is a haymaker to start the map. You know, you already come off the back of losing a very one-sided Dorado. Point A, you know, you tried to set up this Mei wall, but it looks like there's a real coaching element there to Houston. They're like, no, Nero's waiting to wall us. So what we're going to do is pressure Trichoban here by just freezing him on the left-hand side. Now, we can actually focus our attention on this off-angle Diva, you know, and maybe force Nero out of, Super out of position. The consistent poke, Matt, just brings Super Shield low, and Violet instantly plucked out there. Happy is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, they got it. I mean, it's easy to say they have to keep the supports alive. Let's take a look at Happy's POV. It's easier said than done, though, when you have a player playing like this. And I believe he just goes right over the top. Yep. Takes out Striker. I mean, yeah, there's nothing that can happen at this moment, right? He's just got the high ground control as Hanzo. Picks up a third, a fourth, and then he gets the Reinhardt. I mean, that's 5 right there from Happy. What's interesting too, and I'll be, it's definitely something I want to watch as the Shock season moves on. You know, with how good Happy has played today on the hit scan and Hanzo specifically, you would have said another player who you were really looking out for to have this type of performance coming from APAC to NA would have been something like Blister on the Shock. We just haven't seen him get that much run. Blister, a tremendous player last year for London. It'll be interesting how the Shock try and incorporate him more as time goes on.
But before they even think about that, Matt, San Francisco need to try to find a way to get something out of this series. And then we're going to try and make their run back here. I mean, it has to happen here, obviously. I mean, they need to do a heck of a lot of work to stay afloat in this series. Here we go, though. To make their way over to the middle pavilion here. Dante on the Echo, harassing from long range. San Francisco have been able to work their way in. There's a bit of a wedge here on the Immortality Field, helps them push forward. Junku goes down. Violet's Immortality Field is removed, though, and that's where Happy and Dante, they strike, and they go straight for the jugular. San Francisco running a little bit low in that thing called gas here, and Happy has got all the explosives he needs. Striker may as well be flammable at this rate. Coach Gun knocks Happy back out of the scrutiny of Nero. Another big headshot, and this man, he don't miss. He's just Bill Dipley, man.
I mean, he's out at the choke fighting, and you see the Shock. That's how they kind of have to play this, though. Like, they're playing this rush style double bubble in for the Outlaws. They're basically just using the speed boost with the LUCIO from FDGOD to just chase down whoever they can. They finally pick up enough kills to move their way onto the point. So coming into the next fight, the Shock will have some ultimates to potentially try and take point B with a very good time. Blizzard, Deadeye, Shatter, Amp Matrix, Sound Barrier. A lot of good combos here for the Shock to try and set an even better time, most likely.
And there it is, Matt. Echoes of that San Francisco supremacy of the last 2 years. They find it when they really need it. They need to get the job done here, though, on the map and sort of make it competitive in terms of these time banks. Punish Houston maybe for getting a little bit ahead of themselves. Here's an Immortality field. Amp Matrix from Violet. Dante's going to get rid of that pretty early on. The duplication of the McCree. Are you out of your mind? I don't know if Dante intended that. Yeah. He falls straight into the open arms of Super and gets clapped as a result. Graviton Surge comes a little bit late in the day, and the Blizzard is zone off in Sport. Nero can handle these two on his own. Crimzo is down. Happy can't do too much more, but try and disco dance on the point. Juby removed by Violet here. Happy tries to get over the wall, but won't get there, and here we go. We might have a game. Primal Rage comes in now as Junkie tries to stall out the point for as long as possible. Sure, it gets the Outlaws ahead in time bank, but now after a reduction, it's only a 10-second difference. 2 minutes 10 to 2 minutes.
Shades of Blizzard World, right? Now what, the Outlaws finished with a second ahead this time. Just 10 seconds ahead. We were talking about how great the Outlaws push was. The Shock just had so many ultimates going into that B point where there was nothing that the Outlaws could really do. They had no big support ultimate. Right now running a LUCIO, so you don't have like a sound barrier or something to keep you alive through that. Shock had everything. I wonder what would have happened maybe if Dante actually got the right target. I don't think he probably wanted the Rhine to come down and like swing Fire Strike, maybe try and get a Shatter out of that. But still, I don't think it makes a difference in terms of winning that fight because there was so much more for the Shock to work with.
But again, it's this unbridled aggression that they bring in. It looks a little less systematic, actually, than the Outlaws' approach to attacking that, where, you know, Happy just sort of lines them up and they just sort of pressure out an early Maywall. Here in San Francisco, go in, they say, we have to find these key targets. They're playing Echo, so if we act quickly, Dante won't be able to get back and help out the rest of the squad before we burst through it. They're able to do that. They get that pick on Jumgu first, right, by just like busting on in there. Now they have to run it back again. They're on the attack once more. The composition is the same. San Francisco, this is where they make their case to stay alive.
Yeah, and I think what they have to do is when they see this Hanzo pick, no, when they go left side, let's say, Happy's going to try and control that high ground space. They can't allow him to just stay up there and free fire. Like, Choi probably has to go up there, you know, push him down, deal with it a little bit. Or they just use the speed boost and just run right through the front line. You know, that's also another option. Is let's see what they decide to do here, the Shock.
Yeah, they can't afford a war of attrition, but the wall gets put in the way. Jungle is still sectioned off for the time being, but Choi Hogan gets the Immortality field. Jungle backs up. Juby could be in danger here. Choi doesn't quite know where he wants to go, but Dante is claimed by FDGOD. If it's not Choi, it's someone else with that trademark aggression from San Francisco, and they bump it on the Outlaws.
That's exactly what they need to do. Just bully them out. If he's going to play the Hun zone, try and go for the off angles, try and get these picks at the start, just kind of try and run right through the front line. They put so much damage on Django, they have to back up. Immortality field out early, and that'll be a 0.8 take here for the Shock. Amp Matrix available, Shatter too. So let's see, they'll probably start with the same type of motion they used the last time. Get to the corner by the point, use the Amp Matrix, force them around the pole, get some point position, then maybe it's just Super with like a Shatter jumping around the corner.
Lesson learned by the Shock, Matt. If it's going to happen for them, it has to happen quickly. Violet moves up. You think Air Matrix here? Yep, let's send it to the point. Quick Maywall. This might buy the Outlaws the space to get away, but they've kind of put themselves into a corner here. Super doesn't want to push. It's too dangerous with a Reinhardt and a May, but Jungu is low. He's low. They need to heal him up. Crimzo, he throws down the amplification matrix, but he's knocked to the ground. And San Francisco, they've come up with the goods. Self-destruct over the top here. Doesn't claim anyone. Super and Shuikoven still healthy. It's Happy's Dragon to buy a little bit of space here. And he's able to get Striker as well. Surely not. This is not possible. This one man can do so much. He gets Shuikoven low. Super's also very hardly hanging on in this fight. Happy now dealing with FDGOD over the top, and the Outlaws have found a way back in. I cannot believe they managed to do this.
Self-destruct from Choi is not going to get anything, and they somehow hold on. As Happy with the Dragon connects with Violet, and then just enough damage, and the players coming off the spawn to be able to hold. And this is going to be almost impossible for the Shock. Blizzard Shatter here available for Houston.
The best way to relieve that pressure for defenders is to find instant kills. None better than Happy on the Hanzo. Another Dragon Strike available for him. I cannot believe how quickly he's generated it. Here we go. FDGOD goes aggressive, tries to separate Jungkook from the rest of his team. It doesn't work. He'll be waiting around the corner with the welcome mat and an Earth Shatter now. Blizzard eaten up. Choihoven, nicely done here. There's more to happen here though, and Jungkook's in trouble. He's calling for help, and he gets none of it. Immortality Field, can it keep him alive? He steps back, he can't get away. Nero runs him down, but Super's traded out. Happy finds a crucial kill in a 5v5. Choi's already been desuited here, and Happy strikes once more. He is doing it all right now, this man. 3 kills from Happy, and a 4th. No one can stop him. Juby gets involved a little bit here, but it's with a Happy show. 5 kills to put San Francisco 6 feet under.
What in the world? Like, Choi comes in and eats the Blizzard, and it looks like this is going to be a fight that the Shock may be able to swing. 5 kills from your Hanzo. It seems like every fight, man. Like, he's able to not just get, like, the most valuable kills there are, but, like, basically just wipe the team.
Again, that one there's with plenty of assistance, but there's some solo kill action here. Striker gets absolutely belted. Everyone's lining up for Happy, and that amplification matrix means that he doesn't even need to get headshots, man. That's messed up. Happy's like, here, hold this dookie for me, baby.
It's just insane, man. Insane performance here from Happy today. It is so good to be back. It's been way too long, man. Just being able to watch these games. So the Shock, so in all that craziness, the Shock do get point A, and they get 85% on point B. So very much still alive. Although the heroics come in at the end. But let's see. Does Houston have magic here on offense to get A and B with 2:10 on the clock?
It's still a big ask, despite the heroics there of Happy. That doesn't erase the fact that San Francisco had a fantastic point A attack to get themselves in position to potentially, finish the map once more. Houston, again, they need to follow the trend. They've been setting of one-upping San Francisco at every turn, and they will take a similar approach here. Keep an eye on Happy. He's up in the archers right now.
It's the same type of thing, though. He got that high ground the last time. This is good, though, from the Shock. This is what you want to see. Get aggressive. Don't allow him to just set up there on that high ground and start getting picks.
Good Maywall there from the Outlaws, but it's not enough. Jungkook gets crushed here as the entirety of the Shock just lean into them. Crimso's able to get rid of FDGOD. Unlikely to be an issue as he can get back into the fight quickly. And Juby, he's getting out of dodge.
That's the way they have to play it, though. If he's going to take that high ground, try and go for that perch and kind of look over the top, they have to play aggressive. Take the fight to Houston. Don't let him start to get these picks.
FDGOD has returned as we knew he would. 1 minute 14 on the clock for Houston. They've got to pay off Happy's heroics in that previous defense here. Looking to end the series now. San Francisco, again, digging their heels in. Super's close to a shatter. Jungkook, not so much. And again, off-angle play from the Reinhardt this time as Happy is looking for that all-important first pick. FDGOD takes the hit. Amplification Matrix from Violet now. Immortality Field had to be used pretty early. Jungkook is low. Dante looks no better. Happy, he's going to have to flank around. Go for a more direct approach here as the Shock take the foot off the gas for a moment.
Good Maywall here. Amp Matrix and Maywall comes in from Nero, too. Just to block this off.
There it is.
Dante gets Violet. It's going to be a sound barrier to try and answer this from FDGOD.
The Shock have got to commit. They've got to go for it now, but Juby had a sound barrier of his own, and they go for the Blizzard Super. He gets caught in that one. No escape. Choihoven desuited now and not removed, so it'll be a long time before the Diva properly gets functionally back into the fight. They'll head to the point here. Juby goes lower. Striker's trying to cause some problems from the periphery, but it's just not enough. Not enough elbow grease here to interrupt the Outlaws. They'll at least get this point, and they'll have a shot, Matt, at trying to win the map.
Yeah, but I mean, they have almost nothing to work with. Deadeye, Blizzard, self-destruct, probably a shatter with how the fight will kick off for San Francisco. Unless it's a massive shatter from Jenggu and a huge self-destruct from Piggy. The Shock in a great spot to win this map.
Crimso, though, and Amp Matrix is definitely on the cards. He just doesn't have a lot of time to build it up right now. 10 seconds, the Jungle is at the 4. Maywall, Deadeye, pressure on Jungle. Striker forced back into the corner, and here's that Blizzard from Nero. Who gets caught in it? Juby goes around the point now. Jungu's frozen. He's down. He had the shatter. It's no good. Super falls to Happy, but the Shock have the numbers advantage. Dragon Strike to the point, lays FDGOD low, but it's not enough to remove him, and Violet fires up now behind his air matrix. He says no. And San Francisco Shock hold on, and I mean it only just. And they're going to send this to a 5th map.